For the past 10 years, cars have been getting exponentially faster, and we're now at a point where you can cherry pick which car you want to go 300 miles an hour in, as if you were shopping for a new pair of shoes. As a result of this, there's a bit of an oversaturation in the exotic car market, with even old and respected automakers trying to cash in on this gold rush with questionable and poorly thought out concepts, and even some pretty horrid production cars. And while the worst offenders are usually the upstarts that rely more on silly gimmicks to sell their cars, even the old guard has been caught with their pants down. And I feel like I must clarify that the worst cars on this list, the ones that I will truly go after with malicious intent, are not the ambitious ones. Rather, this video will illustrate a worrisome but somewhat expected pattern as far as super and hypercars go, which is that they're all starting to look like clones of each other. Us normal citizens have kind of had to deal with this phenomenon since the 80s, but for the most part, fancy cars have remained pretty exciting and unique. But now it seems that most supercars are either excessively gimmicky or all have similar design features and follow similar trends. And a phenomenal example of this is that new Pinina Roadster. And it looks like if a Ferrari Monza and an SF90 were put into a blender and, melted together. And I know they're gonna feel some type of way about me saying that this looks like a Ferrari, because Pininfarina really established what Ferraris look like, because they're the design house behind so many of the most iconic Ferraris. But this looks like a Ferrari. And, it's not a horrible looking car. I think the proportions are a little funky. And it does look like a Monza, and it doesn't have the V12, which I think is a very important characteristic of the Ferrari Monza. The fact that it's got that big, loud engine. And even though it'll blow your face off, it won't kill you like this will. 1900 horsepower, and it's electric, so it accelerates like batshit crazy, and it's just completely senselessly stupid. You don't need a car with no roof that's this fast unless your name is Max Verstappen, and it's just like one of those weird trend chasey cars that I just don't like. And another top-down car that is similar in the gimmick category is that new RollsRoyce convertible they came out with, and as is the case with all of these one-off sort of Rolls-Royces, it's more expensive than just about any house you can buy. And yeah, I appreciate the craftsmanship, but it doesn't look that great. And like the big main selling point is this wood design in the back that I want to get it, because apparently crazy hours went into it. But when I see this, I think of a cheap gaming mousepad. And cheap gaming mouse pads and Rolls-Royce don't go together. It's just this car is absolutely befuddling to me. And it's another great case of a legacy automaker kind of trying to cash in on the goofy little trends that are going on right now and make a quick bag. But it's not just these legacy automakers that are mixing a bunch of stuff together that maybe doesn't necessarily mix together. And one of the newer automakers that's doing this is Zenvo. And they've come out with the Zenvo Aurora, which is some crazy twin turbo V12 Aston Martin Valkyrie looking thing, and I mean, it's nice, but really it's trying to do what the Aston Martin Valkyrie did, and nothing will ever be as crazy as the Aston Martin the Aston Martin Valkyrie is literally an F1 car for the road, and the Zenvo Aurora is not going to live up to that, because they don't have Adrian Newey designing their car. I'm sure they've got some great engineers, but this is the prime example to me of a copy and paste job. Like, if you were to look around this car, yeah, it's nice. Like, there's a lot of good stuff going on, but it looks like a combination of a Pagani, a Valkyrie, and a Koenigsegg. And that's just kind of where it goes wrong. And also, its predecessor, the Zenvo TVRS whatever, I mean, that was the gimmick car of all time with that stupid wing, and before that, it caught on fire on live television. Like, they don't have the greatest track record. And speaking of track records, you'd think that Lamborghinis would save them from being on this list, but oh no. No. And as a matter of fact, the Lamborghini on this list might be the worst car on it. I know Lamborghini makes the Urus, and there's a very good reason they make that, and that's for sales. This, I can't imagine they're going to sell very many of these. I mean, nobody that has a driver's license is blind enough to like this. So Lamborghini is going to have about 5 people that are going to want to buy this abomination of a creation from Lamborghini that looks like a BMW X6 and GTA. Like, it's just insane to me how they were able to design this car and have it look like so many things at once that are good and have it come out so bad. And this is literally looks like it was designed by an AI. And I'm not like the biggest supercar guy out there, but when I see something that's like how did they make this? Like, how were they allowed to produce this car, and how are people willing to buy this? Like, I have to shout it out. And I'm sure all these cars are going to sell out, but I honestly think they're less special now because the market's so oversaturated. And I don't mean to discredit actually great supercar makers like Pagani and Koenigsegg, but with this assorted riffraff of cars from all types of manufacturers is shown, is that nowadays more and more BS is getting produced and people are buying it.